So, welcome to those people that are here and those people that are listening in at some point in the future to Tuesday meditation. And I would invite you to take a minute to reorient, to pivot into, pivot your awareness and your activity into the meditation. So, because our earthly vehicle is energetically slower moving than our thoughts and our feelings, it's good for us to give it a minute or two and to make it clear to our earthly vehicle that this is what we are doing now. This is the best thing that we can be doing for the next half an hour or so. And I usually just take a few cleansing breaths. There are a few breaths to establish that relationship between my thoughts and my feelings and my earthly vehicle. And I relax on the out breath, absolutely. So I immediately engage the easiest, fastest degree of peacefulness that I can achieve just in those first few minutes. And this aligns our thoughts and our feelings with our physicalness. And the deeper we go into peacefulness and the more we carry the intent to engage with our soul, then the more alignment we will attain. And so we choose and we create alignment within these bodies, these levels of consciousness that are ours to use and to be in. And so we choose peacefulness and we align our physical body with peacefulness by relaxing. We align our astral body to peacefulness by becoming calm. We align our mental body to peacefulness by becoming still. And we align all of this with our soul by accepting the reality of our soul, by acknowledging that we are here as an aspect of our soul interacting with this physical world of the lower mental, the astral, the physical. And we choose to engage on a rising plane of connectivity with our soul. We make this our intent. I will increasingly align with that which my soul carries within it as the higher qualities that I aspire to. So relax. take a moment to just very gently extend gratitude to those around you who are helping to maintain the peaceful energy within the room through their efforts to align, to relax, to be peaceful, to be calm, to be still. So continue to use the practices that we know to deepen into peacefulness, knowing that you are safe, you are very protected here, knowing that we welcome only those beings of the light that understand the importance of protection, the importance of caring for ourselves as we walk this spiritual path. The Father, Mother, God, creator of all things, we exist within your expression. We are a part of you. We are an aspect of divine manifestation. Who we are and what we do is intricately linked with all that you are and all the other aspects of your expression. We accept this, and as such, we endeavor to align with that which you would have us do and be. We endeavor to become a more perfect expression of this thing that you have created, which is a human individual. We accept what we are. We accept that it is our path to become a more complete version of that for you and for all. And so we ask for blessings on this meditation in which we nest a specific contemplation related to us becoming a greater version of the thing that we are, the thing that you have created us to be. We align the specifics of the meditation with the strategy of our journey, our endeavors, so that this aligns with the purpose for which you created us. So may you bring to us all that is valuable within this meditation, so that we may extend and transmit and act in alignment with a more complete and perfected version of ourselves. We welcome our elder brothers and elder sisters within the hierarchy. And we welcome those from the angelic realm who may choose to engage or consider or observe that which we do. So contemplate our theme, understanding. Contemplate that it fits into a definition of spiritual that we strongly accept here at the center, and that we wish to help other people to understand so that they may determine and discern where it lies within their journey. We see it as a powerful communication of truth. All may see it how they wish. So the underlying definition is this: everything is spiritual, which tends towards understanding, towards kindness, towards that which is productive of beauty, and which can lead man on to a fuller expression of his divine potentialities. This is the definition of spiritual that in one place was given to us by the Tibetan, so that we may understand the masters, the hierarchy, have the responsibility of nurturing the evolution of humanity and the lower kingdoms on the earth. So this time we look at understanding. So contemplate that every word that is used hides as much as it explains. Language is the most difficult medium to use when we are attempting to grasp higher spiritual wisdom. And these are the tools that we largely have. So we follow the Tibetan's example and we use words ourselves as well. So understanding, contemplate that we may look at understanding in the first instance in this way, in that understanding may relate to knowing, may relate to higher wisdom, the degree to which we understand this world in which we exist, in which we express. That is one way to look at understanding. Another way to look at understanding is how we act and behave in relation to other people, to other groups, to other life forms. How much do we convey an effort to understand their current situation, to understand the nature of who they are, what it is they are here to do? How much we care about those things. To contemplate that, it is possible to look at this in terms of the degree to which we behave with understanding towards somebody else is most likely a function of the understanding of the total reality within which we exist. So in some ways one flows from the other. It's not a hard and fast rule, but it is worthy of contemplation that the higher the knowledge that we apply, greater our ability and capacity to extend loving understanding towards those around us. So at the higher level we have informational understanding. The lower level we have loving expressed understanding. Contemplate the higher informational understanding. On each plane of our consciousness, there are 7 subplanes upon which we may be polarized. So on the earth plane, there are 7 subplanes of the physical, there are 7 subplanes of the astral. Our earth plane mental apparatus is seen to be on the 3 lower subplanes of the mental plane. So this makes 17 subplanes of consciousness that we have slowly wrestled into awareness and use on our long incarnational journey. We have moved on from the purely physical human and become the emotional human. And how we are extending into the mental human, not losing the capacity for these lower expressions of consciousness. Just because we become polarized at some sub-level within our mental body, we don't lose our physical body, and so we don't lose our emotional body. We just become able to use higher levels of consciousness. And so we become able to use a broader degree of information. So contemplate that at the level of soul there is a similar number of subplanes. So we have the upper subplanes of the mental body. We have the 7 subplanes of the Buddhic body, and we have 7 subplanes of the Atmic body. Which describe the planes upon which the soul, our own soul, and the souls of others operate. So there are 18 subplanes there. So the highest evolved humans on the planet occupy 35 subplanes of consciousness if they have attained all there is to attain on the earth plane. So our understanding, our ability to understand the world in which we live is intricately tied to our capacity to slowly evolve into the engagement of higher subplanes of consciousness. And so this becomes, in totality, the level of wisdom that we have access to, that we are able to grasp, that we are able to comprehend. So this means that there are vastly differing levels of informational understanding manifesting on the earth. Every person is sitting at a particular level of informational understanding regarding reality, regarding what we are, what we exist within, how it works. It takes us many, many, many lifetimes. And in the later lifetimes, particular intent, particular urges and impulses to know, to understand, to grasp what it is that we are, to wrestle a degree of wisdom from the experiences of life. Everything is spiritual, which tends towards understanding. This is a very, very true statement. Our spiritual journey is tied to our capacity to engage, to find, to engage, to make functional within our earthly context higher and higher levels of consciousness. The first line of our quote is most true. And so if we understand that everyone is on this path, everyone has this same structure, everyone has this same challenge in front of them, and that the sum total of the human population sits all along the length of that continuum of consciousness, from the purely physical through the emotional, through the mental, through the Buddhic, through the ethnic. So from being purely an earth plane expression with little soul contact to being a fully expressing human soul, the variation along that continuum of consciousness is most profound, most profound. The higher the wisdom that we are able to attain, the more that we are able to understand our brothers and sisters in humanity and apportion no fault or blame to the level of consciousness that they have attained. But to value them to the degree that they are a brother or sister within humanity, struggling with a difficult task, one that only a few have fully navigated out of billions and billions. The more we understand this, the greater degree of loving, expressed understanding we can apply. And so every effort towards loving, expressed understanding of our fellow brothers and sisters builds our capacity to elevate our consciousness and to know more. Every effort towards understanding someone else gives us clues, gives us information, draws us forward, sparks within us unused pathways of emotional and mental capacity, and eventually soul level capacity. So again, everything is spiritual, which tends towards understanding, that which draws us towards greater capacity to understand the plight, the difficulties, the challenges of our fellow brothers and sisters within humanity. Everything is spiritual, which draws us down that path. So, along with kindness, understanding is a most rich seam of exploration and a most worthy motivation, a most worthy aspiration. And aligns with that which the hierarchy would have us do. So it aligns with that which the hierarchy considers to be spiritual. It's entirely the free will of every human on the planet to interpret spirituality and the aspects and components contained within in their own way. This is what free will is for. God has chosen to give us free will so that we may make the mistakes inherent in attempting to discriminate between that which is spiritual and that which is not. Until we fully understand it, we are in some beautiful, evolving way making mistakes. They're not bad mistakes, they are just the accepted condition of humanity that God has given to us by giving us free will. We must find our own way. Only the information will always be given. The information will always be available on the planet. It's not a lack of information that slows down the evolution of humanity. It is the inability of humans to understand which bits of information are accurate, which slows down the evolution of humanity. Our capacity to discern the truth is dependent on our level of informational understanding. So it's dependent on the level of consciousness that we have been able to appropriate and use within our earthly vehicle. So all contemplations meditative contemplations along these lines are tending towards a valuable movement forward along a spiritual path. As we come to the end of the meditation, know that everybody in the room is in a different place to where we are. Know that that means that there are as many people as there are in the room. There are that many versions or approximations of the truth of what we are and how the earth works and how we work within it. So you take a moment to extend understanding and make a note that there may be people in the room that have the challenge of knowing more of the truth than others. And don't think for a minute that this is an easy challenge. And there may be people in the room that know less. And this is no easy challenge. Every point along the path is a challenge to some degree. The nature of the challenge changes. Everyone has challenge. The nature of it changes. So extend understanding up and down. Extend understanding to all, regardless. Extend understanding to the Dalai Lama and extend understanding to someone that is still polarized in the physical body and hasn't even fully engaged their emotional aspects yet. Extend understanding to all, to the degree that which you can. So I thank those beings of the light that join us, that extend support for these contemplations, that are there for when the spark within us starts to grasp something of value. And they are there to support that very gently, very subtly, most likely. They are always there waiting for that next spark of inspiration that leads us to a higher level of understanding. Father, Mother, God, Creator of all things, we are most grateful for the safety which we are afforded in this place, in one of the safer locations geographically on the planet. Thank you for the gift of the opportunity to live in this place and to come together in safety and in spiritual protection in this way. We honour the divine in all. Thank you.